Today we are going to take a look at the Stars and Stripes, otherwise known as the American flag. This flag was designed by Francis Hopkinson, who was a Freemason. Because the flag was designed by a Freemason, we are going to look for Masonic symbolism in the flag to try to look for any insight into the true meaning of the flag. And just to be clear, I am just asking questions. It is perfectly fine to disagree with me. But don't shoot me for asking questions. I have learned a long time ago that there is often a difference between the surface how things are presented and the actual truth. For example, does anyone here still believe the official story behind the two towers falling? Does anyone here still have questions about John F. Kennedy? Does anyone here question why the government thinks it is okay to dump all the chemicals that they put in our foods? Do you trust what the mainstream media tells you? I assume, of course, that you are aware of Operation Mockingbird, where the government, through the Central Intelligence Agency, worked with the supposed free press to push propaganda on us. So yeah, I am asking questions about a flag that was designed by Freemasons. To begin with, before we even get to the flag, I need to discuss the obelisks, and this will make sense later in this video. There is an obelisk in London. There is an obelisk in the Vatican. And there is an obelisk in Washington, D.C. In this case, London represents the Bank of the Illuminati. The Vatican represents the religious arm of the Illuminati. And Washington, D.C. represents the military arm of the Illuminati. So with that thought in mind, the flag is loaded with military symbolism. And like I said before, things are not always what they seem on the outside, so I am not going to bore you with the official explanation. But even the official explanation has military symbolism in it. So let's begin with stars. Has anyone ever told you why there are stars on the flag? They didn't teach you that in school? I mean, why stars? Why not squares or circles or other symbols? I get there were 13, like the stripes, but why did they specifically use stars? If you do not know how to answer that question, then try to keep an open mind about the rest of this video. 5-pointed stars have an interesting history to them, none of which is connected to Christianity. For example, years ago, witches would hang a star on their barn to let other witches know they practiced witchcraft. In Freemasonry, the blazing, 5-pointed star represents the light, as in my opinion Lucifer, and the all-seeing eye. The symbol of the Masonic Eastern Star is a 5-pointed, upside-down star, or pentagram. The star has symbolic meaning for witchcraft and Satanism. And remember that America is said to be the military arm of the Illuminati. The Rothschild matriarch once said, "If my sons didn't want wars, there would be no more wars." This shows you who is really behind all the wars we engage in. It takes money to wage war, so we have to borrow money from the Rothschild-owned Federal Reserve to pay for the wars we fight. Who do you think the, quote-unquote, deep state is? The Rothschilds also said, "We care not who writes the laws, as long as we control the money. We do not print our own currency." The Rothschilds control our money. They own the Federal Reserve. So remember what I said about things not always being what they look like? This is double true for the official reasons they give us for why we fight all these wars. The banks tell us who to fight. The Rothschilds tell us who to fight. Now let's go back to the stars. Where else do you see stars in America? Well, there are stars in Hollywood on the Walk of Fame. I am going to assume that you all are aware of the witchcraft associated with Hollywood. So let's look at some other examples. Look at the military. The highest rank in the military is a 5-star general. 5, like the number of points on the star. Then look at the Pentagon. After the towers fell, which, in my opinion, was a ritual symbolizing the coming collapse of the old world order. And remember, order out of chaos is their motto. Anyway, what did they also supposedly blow up? The Pentagon. This symbolized the fact that they no longer need us to fight their wars. We have outlived our usefulness to them, so they need to get rid of us, the United States and the West, otherwise known as the Old World Order, to bring on the New World Order. Once the world and under one government, there will be no more need for us to be their policemen of the world. which brings to mind all the stars in law enforcement. And the color blue represent fidelity. So many will remain faithful to an idea that was never faithful to them in the first place. I am not bashing anyone specifically in law enforcement or soldiers, etc. I respect their courage and service. I am simply explaining the reality we live in. They use all of us in one way or another. Anyway, that shows why there are stars on the flag, in my humble opinion. So why the stripes? Look at the Masonic black and white checkered floors. They have esoteric symbolism that represents the duality of this world. Day and night, black and white, man and woman, sun and moon, but most importantly, good and evil. Like the two towers, which represent the Masonic pillars of Jachin and Boaz, the two are merged to become one. And like the Baphomet agenda, they are merging man and woman to become one. The color red, also military symbolism in it, for obvious reasons, but red can also stand for the fires of hell. So if white can be seen as the purity of heaven, then just like the black and white, Masonic duality of the checkered tiles of Freemason temples, where the two are made to become one, the red and white stripes represent duality as well. Possibly the true meaning is the merging of heaven and hell. Think about the Tower of Babel. They were trying to reach heaven, to merge heaven and earth, to make them one. E pluribus unum. Out of many come one. One last observation, aside from white, the two colors of the flag are red and blue. Just like the red and blue duality of our supposed political system. What a coincidence! If you merge and blue to become one, they make purple. Purple is the highest level attained in Freemasonry. Thank you for watching. God bless you all, in Jesus' name.